troubleshooting fixes on the Emlid product. There are many reasons why you cannot get a fix with your GNSS receiver. You could have the wrong credentials for your correction service. You could have bad satellite connections because of tree cover, buildings, multipath, whatever. So what I'm going to do here is connect up to my RS3 and let's take a look at what's going on. So if you had no fix, if it said single or only had a few satellites or whatever is going on here, then that tells me there's no correction service at all. And we can verify that by going to in-trip over Bluetooth, and we'll just pick like off. So if we have no fixes, it's going to say single. That tells us we have some satellites, 16 of them, but we're not getting any kind of correction. Now let's go back to correction, and I'm going to pick in-trip over Bluetooth, and I know these are the good credentials because it says receiving corrections. That means you have the username, password, mount point, all that is good. This thing is happy right now. But the problem is that it's still floating. Well, why would this thing be floating? It's because of the lack of satellites. Emlid receivers are very sensitive to a lack of open sky. And, frankly, that's why I'm going to be switching to a Trimble relatively soon, at least for RTK data collection. And I know that we also have some issues because I've got, some satellites in green, but I've also got a bunch of other satellites in orange. And that tells me with the high PDOP, low satellites in view, a bunch of orange satellites, this is not going to get a fix very well. So what can you do to get a fix? Well, the first thing is simply to move around. I'm going to move around and I'm going to take this and look at that. Did you hear that beep? That means we have a fix. Let's go back and check with our device. Well, right now it says fix and it's in green. Well, we do have a couple of satellites in red, which are pretty crummy, but we have a bunch more satellites in green, which means we're in good shape. So when you have a receiver that will not get a fix, step one, check your credentials and make sure you're getting corrections. Step two, move around, get to an open sky, and if you need to take a shot closer to a building or a tree, walk in the receiver slowly. Don't run over there. Get to an open space, walk in slowly. And then, if nothing else, if all else fails, completely restart by clicking on the unit, restart, and having this whole thing restart, and then move your GPS to a different location as it's restarting. That is how you figure out what's going on. That's how you troubleshoot your fix. And if it's not working at all, if you just cannot get a fix, then you may have a bad network correction. You're just too far in the boonies, you have a bad cell signal, something is going on. If all else fails, set up a local base on an NGS monument and then use the base and rover setup, because the base and rover does not require any type of internet connection. It works over LoRa radio, UHF, and the base and rover is the only solution you've got if you cannot get a fix with your network rover. When all else fails, that's your best option, but it's extremely frustrating because it takes so much time, and you have about a 50% chance of someone stealing your base station when you go surveying. So I would say troubleshoot the network as much as you can. If it fails, switch to your base and rover.